Hi, everybody. This is Jill from Tutor Success Academy. I wish we had like a cool name, like TSA TV or something like that. But we don't. So hi, welcome to Tutor Success Academy. And I want to talk to you guys today about our messaging and how we talk, how we speak, how we communicate, whether it's on social media or when we are sharing our services, whether it's through a letter or a flyer, those kinds of things, right? And so sometimes as teachers, we get kind of stuck in this place of using teacher talk. You've all known, you've been in a meeting, you've been somewhere where a bunch of educational lingo is just like being thrown around and things like that, right? Well, when you're sharing things on your Facebook page or on your Instagram page, or if you're doing like an email newsletter, I want you to look at everything you share through the filter of who it is you're trying to reach, okay? And a lot of times, if it's for our tutoring businesses, we are looking through the filter of being a parent. And so if you are reaching out to the parents or the grown-ups, the guardians, the adults that are in the families, right? I want you to share keeping them in mind. So I have a few tips I want to share with you today so that you can think about this the next time you are sharing something on your social media, the next time that you are sending out a newsletter. Just kind of look at it through this filter and see, does it kind of pass the test, or are there some things we can do to make what we share a little bit more family friendly? So number one, I want you to keep things like 80, 85%, 90% focused on them. Focus on their child, focus on their child's needs, focus on the family needs, focus on how things are affecting them. And the reason that I want to share this one is, especially when we're trying to like advertise our services, especially in the beginning, sometimes we can make it a little bit too much about us. It's natural, right? We're trying to communicate that we are the ones that are qualified to help, qualified to support. And so if we're making a flyer, if we're making a post, if we're doing an email letter, we might spend too much time talking about ourselves and our experience and maybe why we have openings. I've just left the classroom because of this, and this. And so now I have openings. Like, that's fine to mention, but that's not the meat of the message, right? And you and like your life and your experiences and all that, again, if this is the first time people are reading about your services, the focus needs to be on the child and their needs, and then how your services can help them reach the goals, alleviate the pain that they're experiencing, and finally experience success. Now, we definitely want to connect. We want to, especially in this digital world, we need to do whatever we can to actually make connections so people can see who we are and learn to trust us, right? But that's not going to happen by, say, making a flyer and making it mostly about you, right? Make it a little bit about you. Share your credentials. Definitely, share a picture if you to get that personal connection. Let them know your qualifications, maybe your experience. But if you want to go really in depth on, all about you so that they can get to know you, that's awesome. That's really good for either the About Me section or the About section of your website, or do a post or a video on your page specifically saying, hey, I bet you wanted to know who's the gal in the reading specialist chair, right? I wanted to share a little bit about you. Share little things about your life. All those things are wonderful, but think about the intention of what it is you're making. If it's a flyer about tutoring services, if it is a post about some classes you're going to do, right? I want you to keep it focused on the students and their families and what they need, okay? So they come first, then you kind of make it a little bit about you as well, so that we get that know, like, and trust factor built in, okay? So that's one thing, is I want you to keep things more focused on them and a little bit less focused on you. And so I definitely in the beginning, because I was new to the area and everything, I kind of thought my picture had to be on everything, right? And really it doesn't. Like, yes, people want to know who I am, and I was establishing myself in a new community because I just moved there. But above all, we need to focus on the families, focus on the kids, focus on their needs, focus on how you can help and support them to reach their goals, okay? And then number two, I want you to think, especially when we're on social media, or sharing resources and things like that, I want you to keep the information parent friendly or guardian friendly, right? So otherwise, what I mean by this is As teachers, we're very familiar with all the different educational terms, right? Parents might not be, right? But parents are the experts on their kids. Grandparents are the experts on their kids. The guardians, the people who love these kids, they're the ones that really, they see the struggle, but they might not know what that's called, right? And so when you are sharing information and sharing resources, I want to make sure that you are describing things like that the adult in that child's family would recognize that that's what their child is going through. Like, oh yeah, my child does that. They might have a problem with organization. Now, you might know that as executive functioning skills, right? But a family might not know that yet, not until they've maybe worked with you, right? And so I want you to think about things in parent-friendly terms. And I also want you to think when you are sharing resources, you are likely sharing like resources and links and things like that, especially on social media. You're sharing them because as an expert, you know it has valuable information. So if you're sharing it, you're not just sharing it just to put something up that day. You're sharing it because as an expert, you know, oh, this is really good information. And I think people would want to hear this. But if we're sharing stuff like research, really like education-y types of things, we need to let families know what's in it for them. Why would they want to read that? They might not have the time or the interest to read something in depth the way that we might. So if you're sharing those types of things because they're great resources, keep sharing them, but let them know in that Facebook post what's in it for them. What could they be looking for? Read this and definitely check out the chart that shows the 10 warning signs of dyslexia. Or, you know, hey, this article has like 5 really great tips for helping your child stay focused and getting their homework done, or keeping their backpack organized, or whatever it is that you are passing along. I want you to think about it in the eyes of somebody who is not in your shoes, somebody who's not a professional, and let them know here's what's going to be helpful, and even pull out a few nuggets, right? So if there's a really great research article that you want to share, which is awesome, you guys, it's awesome because you're going to have access to things that other people aren't necessarily reading or following. Go ahead and read it. Go ahead and pull out your top 3 most important things that you learned from that article and maybe share that, because if they see that those top 3 things that could help them, then they might actually be more interested in reading the article. So number 1, make things more focused about them, less focused about you. And number 2, put things especially information in family-friendly terms and let them know what's in it for them. That's going to give them more of a reason to read and share and engage with what it is you're sharing as an expert. Okay, if you have any tips for things that have worked for you when you are sharing resources, leave them in the comments below. Okay, thanks.